Welcome back to East Coast Wagering. I'm going to turn my attention briefly away from Saratoga, as this Saturday Monmouth Park hosts one of the premier summer races for 3-year-olds in the Haskell. We have a field of 8 ready to go with 2 heavy favorites in Taba and Jack Christopher. Currently, the morning line gives the slight edge to Taba, but I would be very surprised if Jack Christopher isn't the post-time favorite. The field also includes 2 other Derby alumni in Cyberknife and Barrio. Hallingtime tries his luck going a bit longer after finishing second to Cyberknife in the Mat win, and we have 3 other new shooters to the graded stakes ranks to complete the 8. Today I'm going to break down the chances of each of the entries and give my selections. Both the number 1 Cyberknife and number 4 Hallingtime come into this race off first and second place efforts in a very tight photo finish in the grade 3 Mat win stakes. Many people took objection to the photo as it doesn't appear that Cyberknife's nose had hit the wire, but ultimately he was declared the winner in that race. Cyberknife tracked the pace set by Hallingtime and pulled even to that one in the stretch. They battled the remainder of the race with only a hair separating the 2 at the wire. The rest of the field finished well back. Previously, Cyberknife came up empty in the Kentucky Derby, finishing 18th of the 20 horses, but he was up close to that quick pace in that one. When this horse wins, it isn't in a flashy manner, and I think people underestimate his talent because he doesn't ever run them off their feet. I think he is getting better with each start, with the exception of the Derby, but it is difficult to hold that race against a horse. The pace should set up well for him, and I think he is a major player here. Hallingtime will likely be on or pressing the pace, and I'm not sure that's a place he likely wants to be, since he will have to beat the other speed and still turn back challenges from the 2 favorites, who sit right off the pace. This is a tall task for this horse, but I do think he could possibly hold on for a minor share, though I don't like his chances to win here. Coming out of the 2-post is the morning line favorite Taba, and Bob Baffert attempts to get back on the big stage here, fresh off of his suspension. Like Cyberknife, Taba did not fire at all in the Kentucky Derby, and he took 2 months off after that race. I'm going to show you the previous effort to the Derby, for which Taba actually got the reputation that he currently has. In the Santa Anita Derby, Taba won impressively in only his second career start. He sat in third that race and allowed the speed to get a little ahead. He moved up turning for home and put away the well-regarded Messier in the stretch. I think this is a very talented horse. I would be shocked though if he goes off the post-time favorite, because I think that's going to be Jack Christopher. A lot of people will play the Bob Baffert angle, but he has only been off suspension 2 weeks. Could he really move this horse that much forward in that amount of time? I think there are a lot of questions for this horse to answer. He still only has 3 lifetime races, he has not won outside of California, and the fields he has faced have been small, and with the exception of Messier, questionable from a talent perspective. I think he is going to go off around even money, and I think that is a tough pill to swallow on a horse that still lacks experience. He most certainly could win this race, but I don't love him at the odds you're going to get him. The number 3 one-time Willard is 1 for 5 lifetime, ran unsuccessfully multiple times in far lower level races, and is not even remotely close from a speed figure perspective. I'm not sure I'd take him at 100 to 1, much less 30 to 1 here. Likewise with the number 5 King of Hollywood, I'm not really interested. He does look slightly better than the 3, but he has tried minor stakes twice and lost by a combined 36 lengths. It's tough to recommend this one bumping up in class to a grade 1 after failed attempts in minor stakes races. The number 6 Barrio finished second in his last effort in the Ohio Derby, after having his own flat effort in the Kentucky Derby like the other 2 Kentucky Derby alumni here. He ran decently in the Ohio Derby, stalking the pace and making his move entering the stretch, but he was no match for Tawny Port, who basically blew right by him. I question how strong that field was, because I'm not really high on Tawny Port, and though he did beat Classic Causeway, who won next out over a very talented field, that was on the turf. I like this horse a lot, but I want to see a better effort from him outside of Gulfstream Park. He typically runs pretty well though, so exclude him from your exotic bets at your own risk. But I'm going to make him prove it before playing him on top. The number 7 Jack Christopher is the second choice on the morning line, but I really think this horse is probably going to be your post-time favorite. He is undefeated in 4 career lifetime starts, including 2 efforts this year, most recently the Woody Stevens. In the Woody Stevens, he broke quickly to get position from the 1 post, then settled into second, moving off the rail. In the turn, he moved by the pace setter and never looked back, destroying the field by 10 lengths. The real question here is, can the horse go further than a mile? Munnings is not considered a sire of horses bred for distance, and he was a successful sprinter but did not want to run long. It's not unheard of to have horses outrun their pedigree, but you will have to take a very, very short price in this one's first attempt. From my perspective, Jack Christopher has been so dominant thus far in his career that I feel even if he doesn't really want to go the classic distances, his talent could still carry him. And even if he does regress only slightly, with how dominant he's been thus far, a slight regression might still be enough to get him the victory. I think even with the question marks, he's still the one to beat in this field. We round out the field with another locally based runner at big odds coming out of the number 8 post, Benavengo. He won last out in gate-to-wire fashion in an optional claimer. It wasn't a bad effort, but this is a massive step up in class. Out of the 3 long shots, this is the only one I'm even remotely interested in, mainly because I think he will be the pace, and if Howling Time doesn't go with him and a couple others don't fire, he can still fill out a superfecta. However, I'd be absolutely shocked if this horse crosses the wire among the top 2 in this race. I'm going to be playing a superfecta here because I essentially see this as a 6-horse field from a betting perspective. Jack Christopher will be my key on top. I'm going to try to get a little value and play Cyberknife second. I'll put Taba third. And to fill out the super, I'll play Howling Time, Barrio, and Benavengo. I think the 2 favorites could easily run 1-2 here, but I do think there are enough question marks to try to get a little value, so I'm going to try getting Cyberknife up there for second. In multi-races, I'll likely keep Jack Christopher as well, but I will play a little bit of Cyberknife and Taba in case Jack Christopher does not get the distance. So that's how I see the Haskell this year. I really think this race boils down to the 2 favorites and how you feel about those 2 horses, Jack Christopher and Taba. Which horse you have more questions on. In my case, I give Jack Christopher the nod. I'm going to key him on top, and I'm going to try to find some value here. Those 2 could easily run 1-2, but the payouts aren't going to be that great. So I'm going to take the chance that Cyberknife can run up there for second and try to get a little bit of a payday here. This is Jeremy Pielmeyer for East Coast Wagering. Thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you again soon.